Hello, this is 𝗕𝗏𝘗 and you're watching The Shift Asia. Gender equality is a sustainable issue. SDG 5 is focused on pursuing the main goal of real and sustained gender equality in all aspects of women and girls' lives, which includes, amongst others, leadership at all levels of decision-making in political, economic, and public life. However, according to Department of Statistics Malaysia, only 20% of businesses are owned by women in Malaysia as of 2016. So 8 years has passed. We don't know what this latest is. Like everything else from sports to corporations, there is no gender parity. Many studies have shown that gender parity is good for the nation and economy. The famous McKinsey report said advancing women's equality in the countries of Asia Pacific could add 4.5 trillion to the collective annual GDP in 2025, a 12% increase over the business as usual trajectory. 2025 is next year, so so with that, Leet Ventures is organizing its very first Alpha Startups for Women Pre-Accelerator. I'm here with Bikesh, Lakhmichand, and 𝗏𝗏 from Leet Ventures to find out more. Obviously, I'm going to ask what made you guys decide to do this just for women, but it was something that we all talked about for the longest time. Bikesh.
Yes.
Yes.
So why do we do this?
Yeah. Because I told you so.
Yeah, because you told me so, but also because a lot of people were doing so. And all the people that were trying to do this weren't in our scene. These are people maybe just seeing it as optics, one-off, trying to create these programs. And then they reach out to people like us and saying, please come help mentor. No offense, but it takes a lot of toll to basically do work like this.
Right.
So if you're listening in and you join such programs, what you want to make sure is, what are you going to get out of it? Because the whole process of deliberating to invest in someone is the entire program.
Right.
So if you're going to just get ad hoc people who actually do the work, come in as side mentors, or just spectate at the end a demo day pitch,
Right.
then you might as well just go to them, because they lose the entire process in between that decides why are you investable, especially at idea stages. So that's why we decided, you know what, if everyone's asking us to just be part of a female-only batch or XYZ batch, let's just do it ourselves. Anyone could join our programs, but let's just create a batch strictly for women and basically get more of them able to access such programs. Because usually you go through filtering mechanisms, etc. We'll say, look, we're not going to filter. Anyone who wants to learn how to start a startup has an equal opportunity chance to learn from us.
Right. Okay. 𝗏𝗏, anything to add?
Yeah.
Or he said everything.
Yeah, I think at the beginning when I was tasked, right, like to create an accelerator for women, I was also thinking myself, like, do we really have to do it? Like, because when we were selecting startups or even mentoring or choosing any startups to join our program, we never filter based on gender. Like, we didn't even have that thought thinking that, women would have better idea or men have better idea compared to each other. So, but I think that's the idea of making the program accessible for all. Then I slowly get the point when talking to different mentors from different areas, female founders, then started to understand, like, there might be a gap, right? Like opportunity gap or accessibility gap that we can bridge with our startups online. So why not then just create an accelerator that make it more viable for everyone to join? So that's how I become more invested into creating the program, and
all right. Okay. Now, in terms of you mentioned your past accelerators, what kind of male-female ratio did you get anyway?
Now it's 3:1, 3 male to 1 female.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 33%. I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good
for now. Yeah.
So that's unconsciously. So now that we're doing one specifically.
Yeah. So unconsciously, I mean, trying to also have a conscious view on certain things, certain type of ideas, certain set of demographics, female gender being one of it. And we're trying to consciously say, can we get this to 40? So that when you do select, do you have a separate pool that you select from so that there is representation? Same thing when people say, like, why isn't there more ideas in the space of IR4? I'm like, well, what do you do about it?
Right.
If you didn't do anything about it, you weren't seeking out some ideas, you were giving those ideas the process and time to kind of germinate to become something, then don't expect you to have such X and Y, Z ideas in the market itself. So same thing goes with this, right? I think we have to consciously put an effort to say, I want to see such ideas from such people, then take a conscious effort and do it. If more people did that, I think it'll be very different.
What gets measured gets improved.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Do you believe that the needs for female entrepreneurs are different from men, though?
What do you say? I think it's-
Yeah.
So from a technical standpoint, from a business standpoint, I think not so much. I think maybe in Malaysia, maybe a little bit more different.
Right.
I think everyone is like at the same mezzanine level where access to information was not there.
Right.
We grew up in this whole shut up and listen nation. We weren't a show and tell nation. So this is not innate in us being high-tech entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs on the side of the road, petty store, yes, we know how to do. Anything beyond that, we don't have access to knowledge. I think that's one of it.
Right.
Challenges for females specifically, I think there is some. I think most of them that they speak to us tell us about fundraising, how they are judged between a male pitching and female pitching. It's very apparent. Maybe in Malaysia, again, everyone's a skeptic from an investor standpoint. It's not so bad. But there is stories that is very sad to hear that happens to female entrepreneurs here.
The questions that get asked to a male startup wouldn't be asked to females.
Downright they get hit on. They just downright get hit on to say that they expect you to go out for dinner and listen to a pitch. I think a lot of them have come to me and told us those kind of stories. It's quite terrible. And just not taking them serious enough if it's a very deep tech startup.
Yeah, I think that's precisely like from tech aspects, like people would just expect like you would listen a pitch from men founders. And I think this kind of unconsciousness might come when, analysts was filtering deals. Like it just comes when looking through 10 startups. If they need to pick one startup, maybe they would just pick unconsciously picking the one that, with male founders because it's deep tech solutions. So yeah, I think, but as what Bikesh mentioned, I do agree, like even modules for our pre-accelerator for female batch, it's the same alpha startups that we have been putting online and has been teaching for the past 10, 11 years. But I think what's a little bit different that can help us to bridge the gap is by creating the environment with more supports from female founders, entrepreneurs to share stories, their journey, right? Like being a female, we know that it's not easy, especially when you have like different roles that playing. So I think those are the stories that people are looking for, just to understand like how other people have been through the journey, and maybe that's something that can inspire them to take a step if they always wanted to. So I would say like from this program perspective, it's really the environment that we're trying to bring out so that they don't need to think so much about gender equality, but just be so focused on creating or, creating the ideas that they have always wanted to explore.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between an accelerator and a pre-accelerator?
I think the similarity we know, like they have a very structured program, they offer mentorship, networking, access. So from our perspective, we always focus on ideation to MVP development. But one of the, I think the most important criteria is that it's never been funded before. Idea that never been funded before, that's what would usually go into a pre-accelerator.
Yeah, from a content perspective, I think pre-accelerators is where we take more chance on you. So you could have like utterly nothing but just a PowerPoint presentation. We're trying to figure out, are you the right person to figure that idea out? And then also give you some kind of capital, right? So when we first started 10 years ago, we went down just accelerator. And we realized that there are so many fundamentals that a typical founder in Malaysia, be it or whatever, gender, race, etc., that you just don't know what you don't know. So the pre-accelerator was an education effort to teach people how to start. So eventually then we kind of used the pre-accelerator to create ideas and foster ideas we wanted more on. So we did a lot consciously on financial technologies, and we've got such a great financial technology portfolio right now. So this year we're trying to go into healthcare and wherever else we want to put our money into and create specific pre-accelerators for that. Accelerators is when you really have the product, got some customers and you hit the ground running. That's what that's for.
So right now we're just looking at germs of ideas, so just anything and everywhere you got an idea, why not, right? And when do registrations open, and can you share the time on how long to do this, right? I know what's the time commitment. That's the kind of thing that I will ask as a woman. How much time does it take? So I mean, you want to learn all that, but these are the things that concern me.
Yeah, so the registration is open right now. So until 20th of February. The program starts on 27th of February. It will be a 3 to 4 weeks long program. So every week you have to commit 6 to 7 hours for including like the online modules plus the mentoring spaces that you are going to have with Voluntary 7 teams and also external mentors that we have engaged with. So the idea of it is that we are trying to introduce like this hybrid model so that on your own, you can learn as quick as you want.
It's all virtual.
Yes. And but I think the value lies definitely within like the space that we create for you to check your outputs with the mentors or listen to the advices that we have from the invited external mentors that we selected to be in.
So we talked about the pre-accelerator, about people with just ideas. So are you also encouraging existing businesses to participate though?
Yeah, I guess that's fine because like you said, the point pre-accelerators makes sense is you've not been funded yet. So there's still some fundamentals of you getting ready to go to market that you want to fill up the gaps, that we allow that. Even from a sector perspective, I think for this specific batch, we're kind of open to say anything and everything, hence why the mentors are being curated that are from the world of deep tech, the world of tech, digital, the world of, F&B, you name it. And of course, broadcasting, journalism, media, we've got the best.
You've got the best indeed. So it's all virtual at this point, right? Is it open to Malaysians only?
We like Southeast Asia, so we'd say anyone who is based in Southeast Asia, we will welcome you into the program because it's virtual. We have also a fund that's mandated to not just invest into Malaysia, but we also invest into Southeast Asia. So it's fair game. You come into this program, we could still invest in you if you're not based in Malaysia.
Right. Okay. So will there be access to funding at the end of it? Is there a promise, or really only if your ideas are really good?
So of course we won't just give money for the sake of giving money, but we have committed to say that we want to invest into the top 2 at least. If there's more great ideas, then of course we will look into investing in more. I mean, why would we say no to great ideas, right? So yes, it's open. There's funding there. And would we open it up to other investors? Usually we do, right? There'll be a demo day. Of course, first dibs, we go into the deal, and then we'll also foster to see that if they need more money, should we basically bring other investors in the region and also from here to basically co-invest with us.
Okay. Now, I'm sure there's some people who's watching this, some women who are watching this and says, well, I don't know if entrepreneurship is for me, right? Should I participate? Should I not participate? And if I participate but I don't become an entrepreneur, is it worth it for me to take part in this pre-accelerator, So these are the questions that ruminate in women's minds. What say you?
I think learning is always there for everyone to take it. For me, I also learned from the program itself to learn more like how to apply problem solvings like in my job. So I think the modules has heavily focused on being customer centric, and that really taught me to think about the problem and finding a solutions that fits to a problem, for example. So that's problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, presentation, for example. If you learn how to pitch your ideas, definitely you can nail it if you are pitching any proposals to your management board. So I think all those skills are directly applicable if you find ways to apply it in your job, even if you figure out like entrepreneurship is not for me. I think the right word is that starting a business is not for me, but you can always, have that entrepreneurial mindset at work, even if you're just being an employee. That makes so much difference when you're taking ownerships in your job. So I do agree that entrepreneurial journey is not for everyone. Not everyone is meant to start a business because that takes lifetime commitment to be that. But for sure, I feel like whatever that you learn, it's going to be beneficial for them at work too.
And I think also the networking as well, and meeting mentors and meeting, women in this space, right? I guess people can get more info by going to the website.
Yes.
Which is?
1337.ventures.
The one is written down here.
Is it 1337 Ventures or is it Leet Ventures?
1337.ventures pronounced.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah. So just what Rooney was saying. The best time to join programs like this is when you're unsure about the idea. At least let us teach you why an idea makes sense or doesn't make sense. When you are equipped with the skills to know this is a great idea to work on, then or it's not a great idea to work on, that's still success, right? You didn't waste your time or 6 months of your life trying to flog a dead horse. And then the next time when you have a great idea, you know if it's truly great or not. Shots to get a process, this come to us straight away and saying, this is my next one. So that's
and I think the important point, right? You learn new skills, right? It's 6 to 7 hours a week, right? That time you could be watching, Netflix, which doesn't add to it, or playing Minecraft. although Minecraft does help.
It does.
But anyway, do check it out if you're a woman and thinking about this. I think this is just a great learning experience, or your skills you'll learn, right, for whatever scenario may be in. So thanks again, guys. Bikesh and Roni from Leet Ventures. And of course, this is the Shift Asia.